Sri Lanka's Tamil tiger gorillas have a reputation as perhaps the world's most single-minded militants. They've shown they're prepared to fight to the death, with suicide bombing their trademark. But today, they've been given the day off. They're on their way to a picnic because now there's real hope that peace talks with the government are about to begin.
சண்டை நிறுத்தம் எங்களோட மக்களுக்கு ஒரு நல்ல சுமமான ஒரு தீர்வை கொடுக்குமென்று அரசாங்கத்தின் மீது உள்ள நம்பிக்கையால் நல்ல இடம் நினைக்கிறோம்.
I think the government realizes that we cannot go on with the war, that the world has no patience with us, the country has no patience with us, and similarly the LTT is realizing it. So I think the international climate is what is forcing both sides to look for compromise.
For 2 decades, the Tigers have waged pitched battle with government forces for a separate Tamil state. This show of force demonstrates just what a high-tech, high-velocity war it has been. In what's been Asia's most intractable conflict, more than 60,000 people have been killed, tens of thousands more have been injured, and millions of people have been made homeless. Much of an entire generation has been lost as the Tigers have fought to establish Elam, a state free of Sri Lanka and its Sinhalese majority. Now, the first concession towards peace appears to have been made, with the Tigers' second-in-charge and official spokesman backing away from the movement's long-held demand for a separate state. Instead, he's calling for a homeland, which would remain part of a federated Sri Lanka.
நிலைமை எங்களுக்கு ஏற்பட்டிருக்கா என்பதைத்தான் நான் பல தடவை அதை வெளிப்படுத்தி இருக்கிறேன். இந்த முறையும் இலங்கை அரசாங்கம் எங்களை பொறுத்தவரையில் எங்களோட வடகிழக்கு எங்களுடைய தாயக பிரதேசத்தில் நாங்கள் சுதந்திரமாக உரிமைகளோட கௌரவமாக வாழுவதுதான் அடிப்படையானது. அப்போ அதை நோக்கிய ஒரு தீர்வை இலங்கை அரசாங்கம் முன்வைக்கின்ற சூழலில் நான் இதுக்கான பதிலை எங்களோட அமைப்பு அதிகாரபூர்வமாக இது சம்பந்தமான கருத்துக்களை சொல்கிற சூழ்நிலை தோன்றும் என்று நான் நினைக்கிறேன்.
But the reality of years of isolation in Tamil-controlled territory is that a parallel state within the state has already been created. In this divided island, Tamils claim and control much of the north and east of the country, the government the south. Melinda Moragada is Sri Lanka's Minister for Economic Reform, but more significantly, he's one of 2 ministers charged with leading the government's push for peace.
We have created almost 2 states within a state, and we have and that is what we are trying to correct in a way with this peace process and the ceasefire. And that is to say, these are not 2 separate states, it's all one country at least, and one society.
A ceasefire agreement was signed last month. Putting the pen to paper for the Tigers was its enigmatic leader, Vellapillai Prabhakaran. The Tigers' founder and hero of the movement does not give interviews. But this military leader is poised to become a political force as peace talks between the government and the Tigers are soon set to begin. In Tiger-controlled territory, the only hope for anything resembling decent medical care is to get out. But that has not always been possible.
I was reported that he has a skin disease, red eyes and something in trouble. So he's under drip and okay, so it's sort of emergency.
Today the border is being eased open, allowing a rare glimpse at the world the tigers have created. The flow of people from tiger-controlled territory to government soil has increased in recent weeks. For the first time in almost a decade, government restrictions on many basic items, including bicycles and fuel, have been lifted.
Less items are restricted. For instance, previously batteries, you see small batteries for any radio and so on, were forbidden. So soldiers had to check deeply in the bags to find those batteries. Now it is allowed.
It's in part an admission by the government that its embargo, aimed at starving the guerrillas of supplies, has exacted a huge toll on the civilian population.
We can see it, the areas under LTT control have suffered, the people in those areas have suffered through the lack of food, medication, fuel, building materials for their houses, education. So as a result, you have created two classes of citizens in this country. One class that is basically has access to all these things, and another class that doesn't. And I think in that process, we are further creating a sense of resentment among those people living in those areas.
This remains very much frontline territory. While the ceasefire has helped ease tensions, mistrust between bitter foes remains high. For the past decade, General Kottagadar has participated in and overseen some of the military's most fierce campaigns waged against the guerrillas.
Don't forget, we are not dropped the guard. We are prepared. Because until now, as I told you earlier, it is just the beginning of this peace initiative.
This journey into tiger territory has only recently become possible. For almost a decade, the Vani, as the tiger's stronghold is named, was off-limits to outsiders. As fighting raged in the Vani and the tigers consolidated their control, it was simply too dangerous to cross over, and the government restricted prying media eyes. Now the Red Cross monitors this buffer zone, seeking to ensure the safety of civilian travellers and truck convoys.
Joseph, this lady journalist is finally crossing in with a vehicle. Do I advise her to stop with the white flag, or there's no problem, over? There's no problem, for they're already saying.
Almost a decade of economic isolation and the shattering impact of this war have blighted the landscape. The Vani is a region of dusty towns and villages connected by cratered dirt tracks. An estimated 200 to 400,000 people live here. Thousands more have fled. Everywhere there are shell-shattered buildings and people. Over the years of ferocious fighting, front lines have shifted many times as ground has been won and lost over and over. In the northern town of Kilinoche, only a very few buildings remain intact. This temple escaped the worst of the ravages of war, but its battle scars are obvious.
சமாதானத்தை விரும்பினேன் தானே, அதாவது இனிமேல் மன சண்டை இல்லாமல் சமாதானம் தாங்கள் நல்லபடியாக அந்த டைம் அதை தான் கேட்கணும்.
In the past decade, there has been little repair work, let alone construction, almost anywhere in the Vani. Military graveyards and heroes' rest houses, as the Tigers' memorials to the dead are called, are the exception to the rule. Over the years, it's been the Tigers' leader, Prabhakaran, who has been the guiding light of the movement.